Welcome back to Joe Stun Unboxing. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it in the future. ProBox TV on YouTube. If you're not watching it, you're losing out. It's a terrific, free on YouTube, regular series of cards. Terrific commentary team. Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri. Very knowledgeable, very articulate guys, know what they're looking at. Go and watch this, because you will get good fights. Most of the fights that are shown are competitive and entertaining. And such was the case last night when Sulaiman Segawa defeated Bryan Acosta on the 7th round stoppage. Acosta came in with 20 wins with 8 KOs, not particularly big hitter. He's from Mexico. He had a defeat, which was actually in his previous fight to Raymond Cardenas. He lost a 10-round decision. Two of the cards were very, very close, but I thought Cardenas won it. But hey, there you are. And against Segawa. Now, Segawa calls himself the underdog, and he is the underdog because this guy is 34 years old. He's from Uganda. He's settled in Maryland, USA. He's had, I think, all of his fights have been in the US, I think. He was chasing his dream of being a successful fighter. And he came in with 17 wins, 5 defeats, only stopped once, and 1 draw. And of his 17 wins, only 6 were by stoppage. But this guy, if you think, if ever there was an example, modern example of, a fighter who is far better than his record, it's this guy. Because if you look at his opponents, he's fought about 10 or 12 undefeated fighters. He's never had any gimmies. There's almost none. There might have been a couple at the very start of his career. Actually, I did say he'd had all of his fights in the US. That's not actually accurate. But he's had most of his fights in the US. I think he did fight in Uganda early on and picked up a couple of wins over, no hopers. But since moving to the US, no one's ever given him anything. And he's 34 years old. Well, he had this fight with Acosta last night. It was very entertaining. He's a southpaw, is Segawa. He has that very sort of typically African languid, loose-armed sort of style, and tends to stand very square on, which means that the opponents will have success. Acosta had success as well, landed some good punches, but Acosta is one of those fighters who likes to, he's technically good, he likes to be precise and doesn't throw, he throws punches, don't get me wrong, he's not too conservative, but he tends to sort of look for accuracy. That seems to be his natural sort of default setting. And he was able to sort of thread punches through Segawa, who, like I say, was very square on for a lot of the time. But Segawa, a southpaw, compared to Acosta, who is orthodox, was able to outwork Acosta and land some very heavy punches, which totally belies his supposed lack of punch power on paper. It's the old line about, fights are fought in the ring, not on paper. And he was landing some terrific punches flush on Acosta from early on. He hurt Acosta in the second round. I think it was the second round or third round. I think it was the second round. And there was a lot of sort of jittery stuff from Acosta, who was firing back. The kid's got guts. But to be honest with you, Segawa looked like a banger in there. Acosta's 27 years old, so he's 7 years younger than Segawa. And I suppose, even though 27 is not that young, you'd think the guy's coming into his prime at that age. There was an element of the sort of Acosta being old man by Segawa, who'd sort of seen it all, done it all, won a lot and lost a few and so on. Segawa's, particularly with the southpaw right hook, Segawa was having tremendous success. And Segawa, despite standing square on and having this, like I say, very sort of loose style, he's got this lovely little move where he moves to his right to create space for the right hook. And he was doing that all night long. Well, Acosta was, winning some rounds, definitely, on slickness, on skill, on technique. But you always felt Segawa, again, despite that low percentage, that knockout percentage, that he was dangerous because his right hook especially was really accurate. And I think Acosta defensively is a bit slack. He's technically quite good, but defensive, I would say defence, he needs to work on defence because there were too many punches getting through. Maybe the southpaw stance bothered him. That was the impression I got as well. I don't know why. Maybe him and his team hadn't done their due diligence, homework, and prepared for a southpaw. But I'll tell you what, the right hook, especially the right, but the left, the backhand left was good as well. But the right hook from Segawa was really paying dividends. And sure enough, in the 7th round, he badly stung Acosta. Acosta, by the way, wasn't jabbing at all. I said he was technically good. Yes, he was looking for, straight, decent, well-schooled punches, but the jab was totally lacking, and he needed a jab to keep Segawa honest, especially as Segawa was standing in front of him for most of the time. In the 7th round, Segawa landed a series, I think 3 maybe, right hooks, the last of which clearly visibly hurt Acosta. And then I think there was a left hand that put him over, backhand that sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. Down goes Acosta. Gets up, looks shaky, no quitting the kid at all, none whatsoever. But he was just battered from pillar to post. And in the end, as he was on the ropes, you could tell he was like, oh, Christ, what am I doing? How do I? It's not that he quit or he had any quit in him. It's just that he didn't know what to do. And that's what I meant when I said, it was kind of like he was being old manned a little bit. And he sort of half turned his back, not to quit, but just because he was just getting clocked. And he didn't know what to do. He didn't seem to have that tool in his box. And right at the death, after Acosta had taken way, way too many punches, right at the death of the round, the referee stepped in and stopped it. The bell went. It's the second fight that night where that happened, where the bell went and the referee stopped it on the bell, the 3-minute mark. But Acosta, he does things, he's nice shape, very accurate. But there are, like I say, there are tools in the box that are missing, and defensively certainly. But the jab wasn't there. It's kind of like he's been schooled up to a point, but there are certain things he's concentrated on his strengths and completely ignored his weaknesses. And as a result, the weaknesses, the chickens have come home to roost. Yeah, Segawa had too much experience, too much endeavour, too much motivation. And he just, I thought it was stopped a bit too late, well, quite a bit too late. But Segawa, it's a fantastic win for him. Another, good quality opponent that he's beaten. He's fought and beaten. His previous fight, by the way, he fought the undefeated Bruce Carrington and lost a majority decision. The guy can fight. Segawa, don't look at his record. He can fight. He's now 18 wins with 7 KOs, 5 defeats, 1 draw. He got stopped by another undefeated fighter, Jermaine Ortiz, undefeated at the time, in the 7th round of an 8-rounder. But that was 5 years ago. So this guy, he's learnt on the job, come all the way from Uganda. He's from Uganda, Kuala Lumpur, I think. No, Kampala. I'm talking about Kuala Lumpur. Kampala. And he's settled in America and he's chasing his dream. And, you're going to have to go something to beat this guy. Only the best will beat this guy. He's a very good gatekeeper type. Very good. And who knows, he might get himself a title shot. You don't know. As for Acosta, he's got to go back to the drawing board. He's still young enough. But there are things to work on. Anyway, what did you think? Did you see this fight? If you're not watching ProBox, go watch it because you're missing out. I'm telling you now. But let me know your opinions. Thank you for watching the video. If you did enjoy the video, please click the like button thingy and also subscribe to the channel because there are very few days where I don't post videos. Join us and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. More to come this weekend. Bye for now.